Caroline of Brunswick was born on the 17th of May 1768 to Charles, Duke of Brunswick, Wolfenbüttel, and his wife, Princess Augusta of Great Britain, one of the sisters of George III. Her childhood was difficult as her father was openly cheating on her mother, and this created a toxic environment for her, and she was unable to be friendly to one parent without the other scolding her. Caroline received a limited education, never being able to properly spell correctly, although she could understand German, English and French. She also lacked contact with members of the other sex, even for a woman of her time. At the wedding of her elder brother, Charles, she was allowed to dance for the first time, but only with the groom and her brother-in-law, the Prince of Orange. Though there were a number of matches suggested for Caroline, including the Prince of Orange and the Duke of Mecklenburg-Strelitz, none came to fruition. Caroline fell in love with an Irishman, but because of his status, they were forbidden to marry. On the 8th of April 1795, Caroline and George, Prince of Wales, were married. They were first cousins. They had not met before, only meeting days before the wedding. Both were disappointed in their future spouse. During the marriage, they only had relations 3 times. However, that was enough for a child to be produced. Almost exactly 9 months after their wedding, on the 7th of January 1796, Caroline gave birth to Princess Charlotte. George had numerous mistresses, and the relationship between the married couple deteriorated further. They led separate lives and lived apart from each other. George prevented Caroline from seeing their child as much as possible. Though pleased to have an heir, George still wanted a son to ensure the line of succession and tried to engage with his estranged wife. However, this was unsuccessful, and the couple only had one child, Charlotte. Having only one child was not enough for Caroline, and so Caroline adopted 8 children from poor families and fostered them out to families in the community. Allegations of affairs on Caroline's part were brought up as a possibility for George to divorce his wife. However, there was no foundation for these allegations, and they were proven false. After her husband became Prince Regent, Caroline was further restricted from seeing her daughter. She was not invited to state events and was excluded from court. In 1814, Caroline chose to leave Britain for the continent, moving between countries like Italy and Switzerland. In 1816, Princess Charlotte married Prince Leopold of Saxe-Coburg-Saalfeld, and a year later, in 1817, she gave birth to a stillborn son, and subsequently died. Caroline discovered the fate of her daughter and her grandson from a passing courier and was devastated by the death. She had lost her daughter, but also her only chance of regaining a position at court once her daughter became queen. On the 29th of January 1820, George III died and Caroline's husband became king. Her situation became worse. Caroline was not treated like a queen, and though popular with the ordinary people of Britain, she was immensely unpopular with the nobility and royalty throughout Europe. On the 19th of July 1821, Caroline was barred from entering Westminster Abbey for the coronation. That night she fell ill, and 3 weeks later, on the 7th of August 1821, she died. Her official cause of death was intestinal obstruction, but theories of cancer and poisoning have also been suggested.